Alright, I've got another middle school story to share with you. And that is the story of my crazy, drunk middle school bus driver. Hello everybody, I hope you guys are doing good today. Now, with this story, it technically has two parts to it. The first part is actually the grunt of the story. That's the part that I guess you can say I was there for. And the second part, which is going to be much shorter, but it actually transitions into high school. And I will get to you as to how that transition happens later on. But for now, I will tell you about a bus driver that I had in middle school who was downright, I believe, the worst bus driver that I think I have ever had in school growing up, period. So this bus driver was a woman, and the words that I could use to describe her to the best of my ability was bitter, angry, and resentful. I'm not saying that to try to poke holes at her or anything like that, but it's like, I don't remember how long I had that bus driver. I know I definitely had her for at least 1 year. I don't know if I had her for 2 years during my middle school period, but she was, I'm really sorry, I feel weird saying it, but she was just such a nasty person. It was really, really bad. Something that she would always do is just yell and fuss at everybody on the bus for not that good of a reason. Now keep in mind, there were a lot of, misbehaved kids on our bus. However, something that I started to notice is that as the school year went on, despite the kids still misbehaving, she seemed to have started somewhat ignoring those kids' misbehavior and instead directed all of that pent-up anger and frustration to the kids who weren't misbehaving, or at the very least wasn't misbehaving to that level. Do you remember that kid that I mentioned before? It was in the video where it was titled Middle School Discrimination. That was a video where I mentioned to you there was this kid who was like the school clown. He rode my bus. And something that, I don't know, he would always do, like I said before, he would always act a fool. As the bus is going, he's basically just breaking every single rule there is to break. He's jumping up out of his seat, he's running up and down the aisles, he's harassing the other people on the bus. And one thing that I saw, and I just couldn't wrap my head around, was that despite how overtly this kid is misbehaving and breaking all the rules and just being just a bad kid, she never really did anything. There were even times when the kid would have these brief conversations with the bus driver, almost like I said, they were like friends. I don't know what was with that kid and just his relationship with certain figures of authority to where it's he could just misbehave however he wants, but then act all buddy with some of the adults. The reason that I bring this up is because the way that I remember it, we had that bus driver on our way going home. And when you're on a bus, people get dropped off in a certain order. The very first bus stop that would get dropped off was one big group of kids. And I believe all of those kids, remember those programs that I told you about? There was the tag program, I guess the regular kids, it's not really a program, but just the normal kids, and the comprehensive program. I believe every last one of those kids that was at that one big bus stop were in the comprehensive program. I even remember when we were going to school, since they were the first ones to get dropped off on our way home, they would be the last ones that we pick up when we're going to school. And I remember it was a pretty decently long bus ride. It was 30 to 45 minutes, and for most of the ride it was quiet. But the moment we got to that last bus stop, all these kids come on, they're loud and disruptive and all that other stuff. So you can kind of get an idea as to, who these kids were, how they behaved, and just, you have that picture now. What makes this important is because, like I said before, these kids are always loud and misbehaving, and sometimes the bus driver would do stuff to, calm them down, and sometimes they weren't. But when she would drop all of those kids off, the bus, of course, would just get more or less quiet. Like, since at the end of the day, we're more awake and, we're active. So, of course, when they're off, that's when the other kids, like me, some of my friends, and, some other people would start talking and whatnot. But it's like, once that happened, the bus driver set her sights on us. Anytime that we started to get even just a little bit loud, she would just shut it down immediately. She would just like, keep your voice down. They're just like, okay. Or if any of us stood up for any reason, like if we're just like trying to like readjust ourselves on our seats, or like we drop something and we need to like go pick it up, she'd be like, sit back down. I'm like, okay. Like, it was really, really weird. But there was this one time specifically. I don't know if these two events are part of the same, but I do remember there was this one little girl on our bus who disrespected the bus driver. I think she called her a B. I think she called her a B word. And of course, the bus driver already is angry and stuff that she is. That really got her mad. Now, lucky for us, we weren't on the open road. We were still at the school when that happened. And the bus driver was just like complaining to like one of the administrators. Like, she was like really fumed. And if I remember correctly, I think it was that event that triggered a particular sequence of events that I don't think ever stopped happening until I actually graduated from middle school. I think I had her when I was 12 in the 7th grade, so I think I stopped having her when I turned 13 and went to the 8th grade. So we were still in middle school, but I didn't have her anymore. But anyway, that sequence of events is that I think because of what that one girl did, and maybe a mixture to some of the stuff that we did, which wasn't anything in comparison to those other kids, basically we were put on punishment. We had to go one full week without saying anything, like a word. And any time where we did say something, or if she heard us talking, then she would add another week of silence. But it was quite obvious, and it became quite clear that she was taking advantage of this. I think because since she had the administrator to back up her claim the first time, she basically kept that going, I think, for the rest of the year. So even if we didn't say anything, like even if she just thought that we were saying something for any reason, she'll just be like, oh, that's another week. And we're like, what did we do? We didn't say anything. Like, that was so frustrating. I even had a friend to where, I don't think I was there when this happened, but I believe that there was a day where she got really mad at my friend. And my friend, wasn't a misbehaved kid. He was, just as, polite and well-behaved as me. But, check this out. My friend's dad, I believed, owned his own liquor store. And our bus driver, I believe, was a frequent customer to this liquor store. So, I believe she threatened to tell my friend's dad of something he did, which I don't even really think was a big deal. So my friend told his dad, like, I believe his dad was already aware of this woman and her behavior. So I believe he told his dad, and he was just like, okay, alright, don't worry, I got it. So the woman comes into the store, irate and ornery as usual, and I believe his dad was, just trying to like calm her down. I believe he just pretty much just like fibbed. It was just like, okay, yeah, I talked to my son. He's not gonna do it again, but I think she was still mad. He was just like, okay, I'll give you a 40 ounce for free and a bag of chips. How's that? And I think that she was hesitant to take up the offer because I believe she was still mad, but she was just like, all right. She didn't want to take it. It was just getting like free liquor and chips. I don't know. When he told me that, I died laughing, son. It was that story that I realized that she was a heavy drinker. And now this actually propels me to the second part of the story that happens in high school. Now, like I said, this part is actually very, very brief, but it is very, very interesting. When I was in high school, of course, I was, there for 4 years, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And, all 4 of those years, I had different bus drivers. So I thought that I was just completely done with this bus driver ever. Because like I said, that was back in middle school. That was at an entirely different school. Little did I know that same bus driver was still taking kids home at my high school. And I just didn't know because I never had her, thank goodness. One of my other friends, however, did. And it was actually thanks to this girl. That was how I knew that bus driver was still here and still, employed at, being a bus driver at, one of my schools. All I remember is that there was this one day where I was in the bus parking lot trying to find my bus. And my friend, she runs up to me and she is like really, really excited, really, really happy. And I'm just like, whoa, hold on, slow down. What's going on? What she told me blew my mind. She apparently told me that bus driver, who was her bus driver at that time, got arrested and was tased. What she did, I don't know. But apparently, just from everything that was just, what I experienced, the stuff that I knew about her, the thing, and I think some things that she told me, like I can't remember, that was a while ago, but I think just something happened to where I believe she was drunk and she was angry, and I think that she did some not okay things and the police got involved and they had to tase her and she got arrested. And looking back on this, like being an adult, like I said, I was like 12, like when I knew her, and then in that little instance, probably like 15 or something. Now me being 22 years old and just like, being an adult myself, I actually feel quite bad for her. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a grown woman, we all have, we all make choices and, we have control of our own lives. But it's like, it just made me wonder just like what happened to you to get to that point. I mean, she never should have been, treating, the kids like that. And, I can only imagine some of the stuff that, she was treating, I guess, my friend when I was in high school. But I mean, it's just like, just dang, I'm actually gonna take this opportunity to throw in, I don't know, maybe just some life advice. That is just make sure that wherever you are in life, you're doing what you can to try to make it better, because just, I don't know, like I said, just looking back at that woman, it's just, she just seemed miserable, and that she was just getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, of course, it's crazy that, like I said, that she ended up getting arrested and tased, but, that's also, like, really, really, bad. So if you're, like, just in, like, a rough time in your life, or, you're just looking at yourself and you're not just happy, where you are, just, like, try to do things to change it. I don't want you to become an angry drunk who gets tased and arrested for some type of misdemeanor. But yeah, that is the story of my crazy drunk bus driver who got tased and arrested. Alright, so hope you guys learned something from that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I was trying to do my best to make an entertaining story even more entertaining. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when my videos are going up, and you can show your support by donating in the links below. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.